Hello everyone, welcome to the second video for DevOps Expert series. I'm very happy that you are here, and I'll assure you if you follow this series you'll soon be an expert. My major goal throughout this series is not just give you the fish, but make you the fisherman that can fish on your own. I'll just clear the basic roadblock for you, but most importantly give you a direction that'll help you navigate your journey. Because from my own experience, my major challenge as a beginner was not the technical use of tools, but not knowing what tool even exists in the first place. Once I got hold of that, the rest was a piece of cake. So let us get into work. First, let us understand what version control is. It's a practice of tracking and managing code changes. As an example, when you work on a Word document, you save all your changes on your document before you are done. Technically, when you hit the save button, you are creating a new version of the same file. Similarly, in a software development process, we add or remove lines to our code before we have the final product. Changes made to the code is tracked. This allows developer to see the entire history of who changed the code and also roll back if needed. Distributed version control system, which we'll look later, allows users to access the repo from multiple locations and help them collaborate. As you see in this example, developer 1, developer 2, developer 3 can pull the code from this location and they can work together and collaborate their code. So that's how version control helps a developer move things faster. It's a single source of truth. In addition to that, it also provides safety net to protect the code from any harm. So now let us try to understand different type of version control services. So the first one that you see here is a local version control system. So this is equivalent to your laptop. So imagine these are the files inside your laptop. So what is the drawback of this particular version control system? So there are a couple drawbacks. One of them, you cannot collaborate. So you cannot collaborate. And number two, if this machine crashes, all of your data is lost. So data loss is very possible. The second type of version control system that you see here is called the central version control system. So this is obviously better than the first option because in this case you can collaborate between three different users L1, L2 and L3. But again, the drawback to this system is there is a single point of failure. So if something happens to this server, if this server crashes, then all of a sudden all of your data is lost. The third option, which we'll be discussing extensively and which will be working for our project, is the distributed version control system. So in order to understand, let us first try to understand these two terms, Git and GitHub. So Git is basically a local version control system software that helps you keep track of your source code history. So it's locally installed on your system. So I'll show you how to exactly do that in my next video. And the second term, GitHub. So GitHub is a cloud-based hosting service that lets you manage your repository. So what is a repository? Repository is a place where you store your file. So in this particular example, this is the GitHub. So this is the GitHub, and let me change my color here. So this is where, sorry. So this is where you will host. This is where you will have a repo. And the good thing about this is, let's consider this L1, L2, L3 as three different users. It lets you collaborate, and on top of that, there is one added advantage. So whatever is there in the remote repository is also copied, or the working copy is made of that repository in the local machine. So if the server dies in any case, then there is always a chance where this repository can be copied to restore the server. So this doesn't have a single point of failure. So this avoids this single point failure option. So that's why distributed version control has two advantages. First, it will let developers collaborate, like the L1, L2, and L3. They can collaborate together. They can push their code in the central repository or the place where we store our file. Plus, they also make a copy or they clone that exact repo on their local machine. So they also have a cloned copy or the exact copy of the central repository. So in case if something happens, we can always restore back that particular server or the data in that server. So this distributed version control system make use of Git, which is a tool, and this is hosted in the GitHub, which is a server that hosts uh, our repository. So these are the two concepts that I want you to have a very clear understanding on. Congratulations! Now you are an expert in defining version control to anyone. You also understand different types of version control systems available. You can also differentiate between Git and GitHub and explain clearly how the use of version control can help your team. In our next video, we will go ahead and create a free AWS tier account, install Git inside a AWS virtual machine, add a repo to your account, push the repo to GitHub, and also pull your changes back to Git. This is a complete set of workflow. After completion of this task, you can successfully set up code repo for any team in your company. You already will start to add value to your team. Kudos to you. Congratulations again. See you in my next video.